stop. Before you scroll past this, I need you to hear something that nobody has said to you lately. What you are going through right now. The sleepless nights, the silent tears, the smile you put on every morning before you face the world. The weight you carry that nobody sees, that is not the end of your story. That is the beginning of the most powerful chapter of your life. And I know that sounds impossible right now. I know that from where you were standing, in the middle of the pain, in the middle of the waiting, in the middle of the darkness that feels like it will never lift, hope feels like something that happens for other people, not for you, not after everything you have been through. But my child, your darkest night is about to become your greatest story, and today, I am going to tell you exactly why. Still, why did I lose what I lost? Why did the thing I prayed for not come the way I needed it to? Why does it feel like I am the only one carrying this much? I hear those questions. My child, every single one of them, they are not too honest for me. They are not too raw. They do not make me uncomfortable. They do not make me disappointed. They do not push me away. They bring me closer, because a heart that still asks questions is a heart that still believes there is someone worth asking. And I am here, right here, in the middle of your dark night, not watching from a safe distance, not waiting for things to improve before I show up, present, close, moved by everything you are carrying. And I need you to understand something about this dark night. It is not a sign that I have forgotten you. It is not evidence that your prayers went unheard. It is not proof that you are doing something wrong. It is not punishment. It does not mean you have fallen outside the reach of my grace. My child, the darkest night you have ever experienced is not the end of your story. It is the turning point, and turning points always feel like endings before they reveal themselves as beginnings. My child, I need to tell you something about darkness, something that will change the way you see the season you are in. Darkness does something in you that light simply cannot. I know that sounds strange. I know every part of you wants the light to come back, wants the pain to end, wants the waiting to be over, wants to feel joy and peace and certainty again. But listen carefully. The strongest trees on earth develop their deepest roots during drought. When water is scarce and the ground is dry, the roots push further down, further in, reaching for what they need at a level they never would have reached in comfortable conditions. And when the storm comes, and storms always come, those are the trees that hold, not the ones that grew easily in perfect conditions. The ones that were forced to go deeper in the drought. You are in a drought season, my child, and I know it is hard. I know it is dry. I know the ground feels hard, and the sky feels empty, and the waiting feels endless. But your roots are going deeper right now than they have ever gone before. You are developing a depth of faith that comfortable seasons could never produce. You are building a resilience that easy times could never create. You are growing a compassion for other people's pain that you could only develop by experiencing deep pain yourself. You are becoming someone who can hold space for broken people, not because you read about brokenness in a book, but because you lived it, because you know what it feels like from the inside, because you survived your own dark night and came out the other side carrying something real. That is not wasted. That is formation. That is me shaping something in you that the world genuinely needs. And when your story turns, when the light breaks through after this long night, the person who walks out of this darkness will be someone the people around you have never seen before. Stronger, deeper, more certain, more compassionate, more unshakable, because of everything this dark night is doing in you right now. My child, I want to pull back the curtain on something. I want to show you what has actually been happening during the season that felt like nothing was happening. Because here is the truth about your dark night. The truth you could not see from inside it. I was working, not slowly, not reluctantly, not in a distant, vague way that produces nothing real. Actively, specifically, with complete attention to every detail of your life, working in the places you could not see, preparing what you could not yet receive, removing what would have harmed you, positioning what will bless you. Every closed door during this season, I closed it on purpose, not to punish you, not because you didn't deserve what was behind it, but because what was behind it would have cost you something you couldn't afford to pay. I saw what you couldn't see, and I protected you from it, even when the protection felt like rejection. Every relationship that ended during this season, I allowed it because it needed to end, because it was keeping you connected to something that was pulling you away from where I was taking you, because the right connections for your next chapter cannot enter, while the wrong connections from your last chapter are still occupying the space. Every delay you experienced during this season, I used every single day of it, growing something in you, preparing something for you, aligning things in unseen places, things that had to be aligned before the door could open. I was never absent, never silent, never finished with you. I was building. And my child, what I have been building during your dark night, what I have been preparing in the hidden places, while you waited and wondered, and sometimes almost gave up. It is almost ready. The thing you have been praying for, closer than it has ever been. The door that is meant for you, being positioned to open. The person you are becoming through this darkness, almost complete enough to carry what is coming. You are not at the end, you are at the edge of the breakthrough. And the darkest part of the night is always just before the dawn. I need you to hear this next part with everything inside you. Your story is not over. I know it has felt that way. I know there have been moments, quiet moments, private moments, desperate moments, when you looked at your life and thought, this is it. This is as good as it gets. The best things already happened, and I missed them, or lost them, or somehow let them slip through my hands. My child, that is not true. The best chapters of your life have not been written yet. The things I have prepared for you, the doors that are about to open, the people who are about to enter your life, the opportunities that are being aligned, the healing already in motion, the joy that is returning, none of it has arrived yet, and none of it can arrive until you stop agreeing with the voice that says your story is over. Because here's what I see when I look at your life right now. I see someone who has been through the fire and is still standing. I see someone who has been knocked down more times than they can count and still got back up every single time. I see someone who kept faith alive in the most faithless season. Not perfectly, not without struggle, but alive. I see someone who is closer to breakthrough than ever before. and I see the greatest chapter of their life, the chapter that will make everything that came before it finally make sense. Waiting just on the other side of this dark night. Hold on, my child, the dawn is coming. My child, I want to tell you what your greatest story is going to look like. Not the story of perfect circumstances, not the story of easy seasons, not the story where everything went according to plan. Your greatest story is the story of someone who went through the darkest night imaginable and came out the other side carrying light. Someone who suffered deeply and let the suffering produce depth instead of bitterness. Someone who waited long and let the waiting build faith instead of resentment. Someone who lost much and discovered that what remained after the loss was more real and more valuable than what was lost. Someone who almost gave up, but chose one more day, one more prayer, one more step toward the light, and discovered that the one more step was the step that changed everything. That is your story, my child, not the story of someone who had it easy, a story of someone who had it hard and chose to keep going anyway. And that story, the real one, the honest one, the one that cost you everything to live, is a story that will reach people in ways perfect stories never can. Because people do not need to hear about someone who had it easy. They need to hear about someone who had it exactly as hard as they are having it right now and still made it through. That someone is you. And your story is not finished being written. So before you go, receive this prayer over your life. May the darkness that has surrounded you begin to lift today. May the dawn that has felt so far away begin to break through. May the hope that has been thin and fragile begin to grow strong and steady inside you. May every door that is meant for you begin to open. May every blessing that has been delayed begin to arrive. May every prayer that has felt unanswered begin to reveal its answer. May you find the strength to take one more step and then one more after that, until the day you look back at this dark night and understand completely, with tears of gratitude, exactly why it had to happen the way it did. Your darkest night is about to become your greatest story. I promise you that, my child, and I never break my promises. Amen.